Okay, so let's see. I haven't made a video in some time due to some stuff, but okay, so I'm gonna talk about The Walking Dead, and I'm gonna start with the comic because number 100 just came out, and I know there's huge hype for it, and then I'll get into the season 3 Comic Con trailer. But first off, the comic. There was a lot of build up to the comic, of course. Like everyone was expecting, like, oh, number 100, the first three-digit issue. What's gonna happen? And they hyped it up a lot. I mean, like he Kirkman said something about like it being the most gruesome of the series, and that it's gonna be a game changer. They had like the cover with the bodies of every named character in the series, and they also had another preview that said Lucille is coming. Like there was a lot of previews and a lot of speculation. Like people thought Rick was gonna die, and Lucille was like this maybe a new protagonist or a new antagonist, or a lot of people were gonna die, and blah blah blah. And they had reason to speculate because like 99, the issue 99 kind of hinted that there would be something huge gonna happen, but then 100 actually came out, and my thoughts are I'm very, very disappointed, but I'm not surprised. I mean, like, okay, I like the comics, okay, and I know there are comic fans out there who are like, the series has slowed down after the prison, or it's just repetitive, and you know what? I'm gonna defend the comics a bit, because, like, for one, I don't think the series has declined in quality from after the prison. I mean, like, I think they maintained it's different, but I don't think the quality diminished. I mean, in fact, my favorite volume is number 11, the cannibals arc. So it's like the comics are not they're not declining from like just because they're not in the prison, they're not declining. I mean, I'll get into the recent ones later, but the other issue, what was the other issue I mentioned? Oh, the repetitiveness. Actually, I'm gonna address that right now. Okay, so the comics are. I don't believe the comics are declining at because like they are not in the prison. I feel like it's declining now because I actually kind of agree with the repetitiveness. I mean, like, um, I know they tried. I mean, after they left the prison, that was probably a big um bad a big like panicky moment because like how the heck are they gonna follow up that? I mean, that could have been like an ending to the series. I mean, like the prison's gone and now they're just on the road, so they could have just ended it right there. It would have been sad, but like that was a really like um critical moment of in the series where you couldn't really tell if it was gonna pick up, and then they had some weird adventures until they ended up in Alexandria, and everyone started going, man, this is just a repeat. It's like they're in the new place, and it seems safe until stuff happens. And they actually tried to do something different with Alexandria. Like they instead of it just like being a hostile group like like affecting the main characters, they try to do this thing where they made the main characters the hostile group. And it was okay. It was cool from like volume 12 to like 15, but then number 16 is where I have to draw the line. I mean, like this is where I say it's declining quality. I mean, like when they found the hilltop colony, I thought that would have been an interesting point in series where they're trying to like establish a trade, like tribes connecting with other tribes, but then they mentioned the saviors, and that's where I started like questioning what was happening. I mean, like, it just sounded like I mean, like, okay, when back in Volume 5, I mean, how they found Woodbury, that was like, it was Rick and Glenn. They were doing some stuff outside the prison, and then they stumbled upon Woodbury because they were following a downed helicopter. Okay, here it's like this almost the same story. I mean, like they find the hilltop colony, and it turns out that there's a hostile group like waiting there. I mean, maybe it isn't the hilltop colony, but they stumbled upon the new hostile group, and it's just like it just seems so from like it just seems like the same from it's like they're dealing with Woodbury all over again. I mean, how they got there is different, but it feels really similar. I mean, I told myself like it maybe it's just like maybe I'm just like overthinking it, so I'm gonna give Volume 17 a chance. And Volume 17 has been very disappointing for me. I mean, like I feel like I'm reading um a really like a really not very like there wasn't a lot of like imagine if the whole like war with Woodbury was put without as much effort. I mean like I don't it's like okay, it's like they meet the saviors, they have the first encounter, and then Abraham dies, and then there's a moment of calmness, and then issue 100 Glenn dies. And everyone actually saw that death coming cuz like I mean, you should have seen it coming because, for one, Glenn hinted at his death in an earlier issue, and two, it's like they're not going to repeat with what happened with like. I mean, when Maggie said she was pregnant, they're not going to obviously they're not going to repeat what happened with Lori. Like, the mother died that time, so this time the father had to die, and it just and also you knew a major character was going to die, so it's like I know Glenn's death was shocking, shocked me, but it's like I wasn't surprised by it. It's just it's become exactly what I'm saying. It's like it's become so predictable. I mean, like that's why I this is where I feel like The Walking Dead's dying a bit. I mean, it's still good. It's just I feel like there's not much effort into the series anymore. It just feels like they're repeating what with the governor. I mean, like you have Negan, the villain. It's like, oh, I'm evil. It's like, and I'm the leader of an evil group that's called the Saviors. It's not Woodbury. It's called the Saviors, and you have to do what I say, Rick, or else I have to kill you. And in fact, his objectives are like very similar to the governor. I mean, like, the governor wanted the prison. Negan wants Alexandria and the Hilltop Colony. Um, what else? Negan's cruel. The governor's cruel. And also how the governor killed Tyrese is very similar to how the governor kills Negan kills Glenn. It's like there's no there's no suspense anymore. It's like you can just like predict. That's why number 100 and the whole volume 17 has been very disappointing. I mean like I know he has other comics to deal with and the TV show, so but I feel like he's not putting that much effort into the series anymore. It's more for gore effect. I mean like it's more for just it's now just like here's blood. Okay, it's shocking. Okay, it was gruesome artwork. I mean it was pretty gross. I actually lost my lunch. I mean I lost my appetite, but it's he's focusing more on gore and putting less effort in story. I mean, this story has it's actually not been very interesting. I mean, like the one good thing about The Walking Dead is it kept me wanting more. Like I wanted to read the next issue. Now I just kind of want to skim it. Like oh, okay, I saw this coming. It's like I it's just not very it's not good storytelling anymore. I mean. Hopefully it gets better. I mean, like, hopefully, maybe they'll do something like different. Like the series is always doing something different, so I don't know what they're gonna do though. Maybe they'll bring in Daryl Dixon. I have no idea what's gonna happen in um issue 100 and 102. But all I can say is issue 100 it was not worth the hype. It was not a it was not a terrible issue. It was just not a very like it was predictable. It wasn't that good. It was just it wasn't it was really not worth the hype. And also the whole Lucille thing, I'm very mad. Like if you don't know, Lucille's the name of the baseball bat that Negan used to kill Glenn. It's like it was so stupid. I mean, like putting that much effort in like hyping up the weapon. Like, at least make it. I mean, maybe Negan's like characterized by this baseball bat. I don't know, but like they could have like hyped up anything else but the baseball bat. It's like that was stupid. But anyways, that's my thoughts on issue 100. It was predictable and it was not very good. I mean, it was sad. I mean, they got what if they were just going for like they were just trying to tear us apart emotionally because of Glenn's death. Then yeah, it did its job, but we were just expecting so much more from this issue. So that's we were expecting another issue 48, but we didn't. So yeah. Anyways, moving on. Let's see. The season 3 Comic Con trailer. I am very surprised. Not surprised as in I didn't see it coming, but I'm surprised that I saw a lot of it coming. Like, the whole scene. I mean, there was a lot of scenes in there that I predicted. I posted a prediction video, and a lot of it's actually correct. Like, Michonne and Andrea like finding Woodbury first, and the other main cast finding the prison and having their own thing. It's it's I'm surprised that like I'm not wrong. I mean, like I wanted to be wrong. Like I don't like it when my predictions come true because then I just kind of I ruin the surprise. So for myself. So I'm a little disappointed, but I'm also really surprised. So um okay, you know what I mean. But anyways. So yeah, Michonne and Andrea find Woodbury first, and the cast goes into the prison. So it's basically, if you have read the comics, it's like you're reading not issue, book, not even book, volume 3 and volume 6 at the, not, volume 3 and volume 5 at the same time. It's kind of weird. I mean, like, they don't find Woodbury until after they clear the prison, but maybe, like, how I would have done it was they spend the whole season clearing the prison, and then season 4 they find the governor. I mean, but I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to catch up with the comics, which is a bad idea because, well, the comics is way into the future, so it's like just take your time with the show. I mean, I know the show is its own element now, and maybe they're just doing this because it's its own thing, but it kind of feels like they're just skipping through like the comics now. I mean, it's not like they're taking their time anymore. And when they do take their time, they take their time in weird places. Like they took their time in volume 1 and volume 2. It's and those were like though they could have just like skipped it. Like they spent way too long on the farm, and they spent way too long in camping out outside of Atlanta. Um it's like they're expanding on like things that were not really expanded on but didn't really need to be expanded on, and they're skimming down things that need to be expanded on. So I don't know what the thought process is going on in the TV show writers' heads, but um, hopefully they don't mess up season 3, because from what I've seen in the trailer, I don't think they're gonna mess up Michonne because the actress seems pretty spot on. But and also a lot of people are hating the governor, but I actually like this governor. I'm scared they might mess him up, but I like the actor they picked because let's face it, even if you like the comics, you have to admit you saw the governor as being a villain. Like as soon as you met him, you were like, I don't like this guy. Because he looks like a freaking villain. I mean, that was one of the main problems with the comics. The comic governor. This TV governor, if you haven't read the comics, then you would probably double think. It's like, this guy looks okay. I'm a little cautious, but I don't really, he doesn't really look threatening. And that's a good thing. I mean, that was what the comics governor was like. Like he was trying to be charming, but you could never like trust this guy. This guy was always seemed like he was he was like evil. This TV governor, how he talks, he's like charming. He doesn't look threatening. It's good. And also a good thing they did was Rick is coming out like now he's a lot more like comic Rick. I mean, he's not nice Rick anymore. He's very much like comics Rick. They're making him look more like the villain. Like the ending line of the trailer was, "If you go near my people, then I will kill you," or something like that. That's actually very good. I mean, like if you haven't read the comics, if you're a TV show fan only, then it's um it's a good distraction because like it makes Rick look like the bad guy. So when the governor does start doing what the governor does, then there's gonna be actual legitimate shock because like, wow, I did not expect this guy to be like worse than Rick, you know. So yeah. Anyways, so I like what they're doing with Michonne and the governor. I'm scared what if they'll mess it up. I'm scared more if they mess up the governor. I'm not very scared about Michonne. It's not very hard to do Michonne, and it's like I know a lot of people say, "Oh, they're gonna mess up Michonne and stuff." It's not that hard actually when you think about it. Like, she's not very she's complex, but she's not a very emotional person what would be hard person like Dale, comics Dale and comics Andrea. They would have been really hard to do because they have like these levels of emotion and like complexity to them. And Michonne, she is complex. It's just her personality is not that hard to do because she because I don't really know a time where like Michonne like flipped out, like she was like she broke down or anything. Like she sort of just she keeps like she maintains a sort of like cool attitude. Like if the actress can do that, then Michonne is not going to be messed up. She's like she's not as hard to do as the governor. The governor is a character that would be really hard to see on screen. But anyways, that's just my opinion. So other thoughts. We saw Carol with an AK. I don't even know what machine gun it is. So we saw Carol with a gun. That was kind of cool. Um, let's see. Daryl Dixon was being Daryl Dixon, and I'm getting really sick and tired of Daryl Dixon fangirls and saying, "Oh, he's not gonna die. I'm gonna stop watching if he dies." Enjoy your time with him. He's gonna die. Okay. Rick's second in command always dies. Okay. Always. If you want a list, okay, Shane, the TV Shane, died. In the comics, Shane died. Tyrese died. And when after Tyrese, Dale took over, he was like interim. Dale died. Abraham Ford died. And after Abraham died, Glenn took over. Now Glenn's dead. So, like, they all die. Okay, Daryl's gonna die. Okay, stop lying to yourself. He's gonna die. Maybe not in this season, but he's gonna die. So, remember Kirkman said no one is safe, so you gotta prepare yourself now. Daryl is gonna die, just like how everyone else in the group's gonna die, except maybe Rick. I doubt they're gonna kill Rick anymore. I mean, like, they had so many points where like they were gonna kill Rick, but I don't know if they can actually kill Rick now. I mean, like, he's like the poster boy of this show and the comics, so it's like, why would you kill him off now? I mean, they could if they had an arc where he turned into the villain, but if they don't do anything that makes his character expendable, then Rick is the only character that you can consider safe. So, anyways, yeah, Daryl is gonna die. Maybe not this season, but he is gonna die. Just saying. Anything else? Prison looks good. The prison looks amazing. The other cast looks okay. I'm not. Carl is starting to grow on me. I mean, like, comics Carl is my favorite character in the comics, and TV show Carl is like, he's bad, but I can tell he's getting better. So I have to see what they do. Yeah, that's all I have to say about the trailer. It looks good. It actually looks good. I like that it's different, but Yeah, I don't really have that much else to say about the trailer for season 3. It looks good. Okay, that's all I can say. It looks good. And the thing with Merle in the end, that was a nice touch. So I'm excited for to see Merle back. What he'll do. Blah blah blah. And that's all I have to say about the comics and season 3 trailer. So yes.